Hey, this is a short video on my New Zealand red and blue bunnies that I just got about a couple weeks ago maybe. I put a listing out on some groups that I'm in on Facebook looking for purebred red New Zealand rabbits. And several people reached out to me, but they were really far away. There was one, the closest one was about an hour away, and he also mentioned, as we were talking, he also mentioned he had blues. Blues are very hard to find. Reds are hard to find themselves, but blues are even harder to find. And when he told me that, I said, I want a breeding pair of them also. So he said no problem. He said he was going to have them get them sexed out, which means, finding out which one's the boy and the girl, because I want it young. I didn't want any older rabbits, because on my white ones, I've got a couple. When I bought them, my New Zealand whites, the older mama is, I think she's several years old. I think the person who sold it to me wasn't for sure on how old she was and said that she was a year, but I think she's older than that. I've had problems with her. Anyway, but these here, I don't know everything about rabbits, and I still don't. But these here, you can tell that when he told me they were 12 weeks old, they look 12 weeks old. You can tell the difference. So I went over there, and I had Kira with me, and she was helping me pick out the rabbits and everything. So here's one of the rabbits that you've been seeing. This is a New Zealand purebred New Zealand, no mix in it or anything like my white ones. My white ones, only one white one is pure New Zealand, and the other two that I have are one is a half New Zealand, half Californian. The other one I have is half New Zealand, I think a quarter Rex and a quarter Californian. And I want New Zealand breeds. I like the breeds better. They're more calmer, as you can see. The breeds that I have in the white, I really like them a lot. They are more skittish for some reason, but these here are a lot more friendlier. Here's the other red one here. And sometimes they probably don't know what I'm doing, but even just from having them for a couple of days now, they usually come right up to me and is very friendly. And pat them. I really like raising rabbits. That's why I've gotten into this feather. I like breeding them. I like the meat. And I don't get close to the baby rabbits, because once they grow out, I do butcher them for food and I freeze the pelts for later use. For like Angel is wanting to make blankets, things like that out of them. And here is a blue rabbit. See if we can get a better. This one here has been a little more skittish, but look at that pretty blue color. It's really a gray. You can see a little bit of blues, but they call them blues. These are really rare rabbits, and I love the color. And so I got a breeding pair of the blues. I'll tell you about the cage here in just a minute. Built this cage. Angel and I built this cage this past week. It's got 5 bays in it. And it's really nice. I like it a lot. I built a hutch a couple months ago and I'm using it for a grow out hutch. Here's the other one. This one is another one. Probably don't know what I'm doing, but comes right up to me and likes to be petted on and stuff. The breeders, I do get close to because, you know, they're kind of like pets and things. It's just the grow outs I don't, because we butcher them for meat. But that's a real pretty one. Now I got an extra one to show you here, because when Kira was, I told her, I said, why don't you pick out a blue one that you like. And when she picked out the blue one, it was this little guy here. And I'm sure you could see that that's a little bunny. Okay? When she picked him out, the breeder said that one may not be good for breeding because it's a runt. He said sometimes runts do well at breeding and sometimes they don't. Most of the times they're better for pets. So I said, okay, well, so we picked out a different one. And so I think you could see Kira really liked this little rabbit a lot. So as we was packing all the rabbits up and everything, he says, here, let me just go ahead and get this rabbit out and you can just go ahead and take it. And I said, well, how much you want for it? He says, nothing. So we got this little rabbit here for free. It's probably going to wind up being a pet because it's the same age as the other rabbits, a little over 12 weeks. But as you can see, it's not growing much, and it may grow a little more. It may come to full size at some point, but it's more than likely going to be a pet for Kira. Now this cage here, a lot of breeders use cages. My idea in the beginning was I wanted a rabbit habitat or a rabbit run so that they can freely roam. And at that time when I was first getting into rabbits, I didn't know how actually mean they are to each other. And in a lot of cases, they, especially the does, the females, will get together and in their own little pack or whatever and fight with the other does, and the males the same way too. So that's when I found out that's why you keep them separated, because out in the wild, I guess, rabbits are separated. Once they have their, I do know that I did find out later on, wild rabbits, once they have their babies, once they're weaned off, they leave the babies and to fend for themselves. So I come up with the idea of the hutch. And you can see some rabbits right there. They are butcher rabbits. They are almost up to weight to butcher them. I'd say probably about another week and a half, they'll be ready to butcher. But that's my grow out hutch. This here is cages. As you can see, it's much more room for the rabbits. They got a lot of room in here. I am going to probably install a drip system for the water. But this cage here is 15 foot long, 5 bays to it. So the cages are 36 by 30. inside. Gives them plenty of room, and especially when they're having their babies and you put the breeding box in there, it's going to leave more room for that. Right now, the cages that I did have before this were kind of small and made it kind of cramped when they were having babies. And you can tell when mama is done with her babies, she don't want her babies around anymore. So you have to separate them. But anyway, I guess that's about it. I just want to make a quick video because quite a few have been asking about the new rabbits that I just got and the cage that I just built. Well, actually, Angel and me just built. She did a lot more of it, actually. But that's about it. Bye.